Good afternoon and welcome to the latest edition of Off the Cuff here at City Hall. We've had a busy month with a few what I would categorize as major announcements for some plans this summer and some projects that we'll have coming up and starting to take place. First, an announcement development that received a lot of attention was the announcement of the City of Oswego partnering with Bird Rides. It's a company that owns e-scooters, and they deploy these scooters to municipalities and communities all over the country. If you've traveled recently to bigger cities or mid-sized cities in other states, you'll see, or even here in New York, you'll see some of these electric scooters are strategically deployed throughout the community. And the system we're setting up is a partnership between the city and Bird Scooters. It's an app-based program where you have your smartphone, you download the Bird app, and the Bird app presents to you these scooters that are all GPS tracked, and you can pick a scooter or walk up to a scooter and select that scooter by scanning the app. The scooter will power up. It's $1 to start and 39 cents a minute per minute after that. And you can really take the scooter just for a quick joyride or cruise, or you can use it to run a quick errand. And you can take it anywhere you want within city limits. So it's a form of recreation, but also can be used as a method of transportation for some who may not have another option. So we're going to deploy these scooters. Some can go to SUNY Oswego, Brightback Park, Wrights Landing Marina, the new Lakeside Park, so people can use them, have some fun, and then return them or leave them in a safe spot. And we'll have the company actually hires somebody, the position they call the fleet manager, to go around all day and collect these scooters and return them to the pickup locations. So I'm really excited about that. You see a lot of other progressive communities doing this, and I think with a lot of the momentum we have with a lot of people going to Brightback Park and soon to be the marina and other areas, it's a good option to have and just another fun amenity we can have. There, of course, could be some issues. I think a lot of the issues that have been brought up are already addressed, just the way the system works. These scooters are really hard to steal. They weigh 45 pounds, and of course they're GPS tracked and can easily be traced. You were concerned about reckless driving, or maybe some folks without the best intentions using these scooters. If we find somebody reckless who's driving recklessly or being a danger to other motorists or pedestrians or themselves, we can issue one warning and then ban them from the program so they can't use the app and even get on the app. And at the end of the day, you need to have a smartphone, you need to have the app, and you need to tie a debit card to the app to be able to even ride these. So I think you'll see a lot of people who may not have the best intentions not even use them in the first place because of the process involved in being able to use it. The city can adjust the speed. These scooters will go about 15 miles an hour. You need to be 18 years old and older to ride them. And then again, we'll have people out collecting these scooters and returning them to the designation points pretty routinely throughout the day. So we'll see how it goes. I personally think they'll be popular and a hit. But if they turn out to be a nuisance or have issues, we can always pilot the program and discontinue it. So I think it's a good development and something that Oswego needs and people will enjoy. We also announced the awards from the Revival Fund. The Revival Fund was a $150,000 pot of money from the American Rescue Plan that we designated to be used to help new businesses get started, existing businesses who have been closed because of COVID, get them reopened. If businesses were in the middle of an improvement project or had an improvement project that was related to COVID, most notable project, I guess, would be the expansion of an outdoor dining patio. This was a grant, a pool of money that would help assist them to complete their projects, start their projects, or just be able to reopen. Because we know how damaging COVID was to small businesses and how much money it cost them and the burden it placed on them. We originally allocated $150,000. We received over 50 applications that totaled over $750,000 in funding. So we were about $600,000 off. We actually expanded the pool of funds from $150,000 to $225,000 just because we had so many good applications. And there's obviously, as you can tell by the number of applications and the dollar request, a huge need and a lot of assistance needed for these small businesses here in Oswego. So we expanded the pot of money by another $75,000, and we were able to award some businesses like A&J Music, Vona's 1850 House is currently getting is in the midst of a renovation project. Vona's is expanding outdoor dining. Wade's Diner's putting an awning out for some outdoor seating. The Sting is going to have a great outdoor setup, and this funding will help them get reopened. You have businesses like Gaslight Pub. They remain closed. We're giving them $3,000 in funding so that they can pay their bills and get current and get open. So I think this fund, which we just recently announced, it's already having a positive impact on our local economy and directly helping small businesses. And I think through the summer, you'll see a lot of projects popping up, small projects, as a result of the funding. So for a full list, you can go to Oswego County Today, where a list of all the grant recipients and the amount of money they were awarded is listed. I think that's important to list so people know where the money went and who got what. We also used some funding from the American Rescue Plan for community organizations. This was an announcement in a program that was important to me personally. By community organizations, we really mean our civic clubs and organizations here in the city. So we allocated $40,000 to issue $10,000 grants to each club here in the Oswego community. It's the Elks Lodge, the American Legion, the Moose Club, and the West Side VFW. And you know, these clubs, a lot of them have a focus on our military veterans who we support and respect. But what's unique about these clubs is they're almost like a sanctuary for veterans and a place where they can go and socialize and talk about their time in the service and just relax. They also do a lot of fundraising for themselves, but also community organizations. They do a lot of good work in the community, like the Elks issues grants and supports other programs as well. So the need and the issue here is these organizations, the main source of revenue is their the halls, their banquet halls that they rent out, and the canteen where they, the bar and some of the clubs have quick draw where they make their money to pay their bills and be able to reissue the money to other organizations and causes throughout the community. And obviously during COVID, they couldn't rent their halls out because of the capacity limits and the ban on gatherings. And then the canteens were closed for quite some time, just like every other bar or restaurant. So these clubs took a major hit. So I think this $10,000 will go a long way to help their fiscal health, but also allow them to continue providing and doing the mission that they do in ordinary times, and that's supporting veterans organizations and causes, and in the case of certainly the Elks, giving back to other not-for-profits and causes here in the community. So they all play an important role, and we're happy to help them so that they continue to be open, operating, and supportive. We had a couple other announcements that I think are important. We had our annual Code Blitz from May 10th to May 20th. It's a 10-day blitz we do every year that coincides with Move Out Weekend for the students. The point of this blitz is to prevent stockpiling and prevent trash from being built up, prevent people from putting furniture or desks or just mass amounts of garbage out into their front lawn and into our neighborhoods all at one time, creating a big, significant amount of blight. We've learned the hard way before, pre-2016, where Move Out Weekend, which is also graduation weekend, and we have all these visitors from out of town, looked like a war zone in some cases in the first and third wards. So we introduced this annual Code Blitz about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's really produced big results. This year's no different. In the 10 days for the Blitz, We logged 188 violations that we cited. 84 complaints came in of neighbors or motorists calling in, code complaints that we responded to. Of the 188 violations, 185 of the violations were brought into immediate compliance. What this means is we would call the landlord once we saw the violation, and we would say give them a quick time frame, typically 1 to 3 hours to rectify the issue. And if it wasn't rectified, a fine would be issued. So that's actually good news. 188 or 185 of the 188 tended to the issue immediately. And then obviously the 3 fines were issued because the landlord didn't take care of it. So that's a good thing. I think what's even more important is we know that the publicizing this blitz ahead of time, and I actually personally send out a warning letter to all landlords in the enforcement zone that this blitz is occurring, stops these violations from happening in the first place. And that's the point. And the second point is to tend to the violations that do happen, and the data here suggests that we were on top of it for those 10 days. And I think you could notice that as you drive through the city. Some other good news, we won a $1 million grant for the East Side Wastewater plant. It's been highly publicized, the improvements and the investment we've made to both our wastewater facilities. This $1 million grant will help us install new blowers throughout the plant, and this will simply help us better treat the sewage. It'll improve operations, and we think actually reduce operating costs in the long run by almost 30%. Just because it'll introduce some efficiencies and help with other operations throughout the plant and the system. So that was great news, and certainly we'll take the $1 million in support from New York State to help complete those projects. We are launching or conducting, I should say, another chalk walk event. This is the 3rd chalk walk. We did 2 in 2020, and they were a big hit for the kids. So the chalk walk, you sign up ahead of time. This chalk walk event's on Saturday, June 19th. So you're going to want to go and sign up online before June 19th so that we have your address, and then we'll have judges walk around on Saturday the 19th and judge the art on the sidewalk, and then we'll have winners with prizes and so on. So I encourage you to mark that date in your calendar, get signed up right away, and get creative on the 19th. And then lastly, we're launching a 3rd round of our Zombie Home Repair Program. The Zombie Home Repair Program is a program that actually allows the city to go and handle bank foreclosed property, vacant property with a significant amount of code violations, and assuming an owner doesn't step forward and repair the home, we can actually hire a contractor to go on the property, fix the home, to meet the minimum housing standards and our local code laws, and we actually take the money that is spent on repairing that home and bill it, put it on a tax bill with interest, and the interest goes back into the fund so that we can keep doing these projects. So we're allocating about $35,000 to launch this 3rd round. A lot of this money is from the previous 2 rounds where the interest is building up, and now we can have this 3rd round using that money, so it's at no cost to the taxpayer. But we have identified some vacant properties that have been long created many issues in the community and in these neighborhoods. So we'll go on the property, we'll address those, get the house in a decent condition, and eliminate some of the blight and some of the nuisance issues that come with vacant property. Now we have about 3 homes identified, but we're looking for approximately 3 or 4 more. So if you have a home or property in your neighborhood that is causing issues and appears to be bank owned or vacant, please bring it to our attention, because it may be eligible for this program, and we can go through the process and maybe get it fixed up here this year. So please bring it to our attention. So that's a quick rundown. There's a lot happening right now with Wright's Landing opening on June 1st, and we'll have some other small openings and announcements in the next few weeks. So having said that, I look forward to talking to you next month as we get into the heart of summer here, and hope you're enjoying the nice weather, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
Bye.